been a pretty good start to the season for our next guest. Through 3 starts, he is looking quite good and looked really good in Anaheim the other night when he outdueled Noah Syndergaard, made Shohei Ohtani look foolish, and now he gets ready to return home and pitch this weekend against the Red Sox. It is a pleasure to welcome into the program Orioles pitcher Spenser Watkins, who's with us now on GCR. Spenser, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Yeah, Glenn, first off, I appreciate the kind words there. It's awesome. Appreciate you having me on.
I got to imagine it's feeling good for you right now. Can you just sort of take me through, after getting that first taste a year ago, what were the off season was like? What were the priorities? Did you feel really good about where you were coming into this year?
Yeah, getting that first taste of the big leagues is something everybody, every young baseball player dreams of. So to get that opportunity was, incredible, and I can't thank the Orioles organization enough for believing in me for that. And it just kind of segued into my off season, made me, a little bit hungrier, I'd say, than the years in past. I've always been hungry for success, but there's something about getting back to the big leagues that may drive you a little bit more. So going into the off season and luckily we were able to get some stuff figured out with the Orioles prior to the lockout and everything. So I had an idea of where I was headed, and I knew I had an opportunity to pitch in the big leagues with the Orioles. So my drive in the off season was to do whatever I could to put me in a position to do that.
We've seen this new or at least improved slider this season from you. Can you take me through adding that a little bit into your repertoire? And it seems like that fourth pitch has really been critical in the success that we've seen from you early on.
Yeah. So the slider's been fairly new the last 2 weeks. Something our pitching coach Chris Holt kind of brought to me as an idea. We had messed around with some thoughts last year on it, and we were working through adding the changeup and everything last year. So once we got to a point where we felt that was a good addition, we stretched out to see if we could make the ball move a little bit of a different direction, more than north and south. So we can go some east and west. So yeah, we worked around with a grip, something that our pitching coach and our analytics team brought to us, and we've just been fine tuning it in the bullpens and been able to kind of showcase it a little bit here and there in the games.
When you say that it came in the last 2 weeks, I feel like I would be terrified to introduce something at the major league. I'd be like, hey man, maybe we do that in the off season, right? Like maybe we do that in the spring. Maybe not when these are the games that count and that I'm going to be judged by, and these stats will hang over me for forever. Were you at all nervous, trepidatious about doing that at the major league?
Yeah, there was a little bit of second guessing happening, but the work we had put in prior to that first game in Oakland where I busted it out, I felt really good with it. I felt comfortable, and I felt like I was confident enough to bring it into a game. And something that kind of has been instilled in me throughout my career is you just kind of you compete with what you got, and something. So I kind of just took a little bit from that and said, let's give this a shot and see how it plays. And luckily it was playing out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out okay. There's no doubt about that. Spenser Watkins is with us here on GCR. The Orioles are back home this weekend taking on the Red Sox, and what's very cool is that they have extended the 1992 pricing for tickets, so you can get tickets starting as low as $4 throughout this homestand. Yeah, right? That's
awesome.
pretty good, right?
That's fantastic.
Of course,
yeah, absolutely.
Of course, you remember lots of things about 1992, Spenser, right? Like since you
Sure,
were
I was learning how to drink milk at that point in time.
So yes, get your tickets right now as the Orioles return home this weekend. Spenser, you mentioned that start in Oakland. I know the first one was decent, but a little bit shaky. Did that start do something for you that you pitched so well and deeper into the game that gave you an amount of confidence about what might be to come?
I think the Oakland game was a good kind of pace setter for me. The first game, get the first one out of the way, get some any sort of jitters or anything, clean up any sort of or knock off any rust, I should say, with the shortened spring and everything. So it was a good pace kind of to get into Oakland and have some success with everything we've been working on. The pitching staff as well. I mean, the staff as a whole we have here is incredible, and addressing things between starts or between outings for guys and having good days of work. So we put a lot of really good work going into that Oakland series, and then to be able to execute the stuff we had worked on, whether it was mechanical or pitch sequencing or things like that, is a big confidence boost going into to LA as well as these next few starts. And then on top of that, just how incredible our pitching staff's been throwing is a confidence boost to all of us. You see all of each guy go out and you want to go out there and duplicate what he's doing. So it's been a good kind of atmosphere as a whole leading up to these starts.
You talk about, obviously, there was not much expected of this staff coming into this season. And look, technically, I guess on opening day, you didn't know that you were going to be part of this staff at that point. Did that create a chip on the shoulder type of mentality? Did you guys try to use look? What Bruce is doing is nuts. I mean, it's insane what Bruce is doing to start the season.
Incredible.
Did you guys talk about that at all, or sort of say like, hey, we've got something to prove here?
I think all of us are at a point where we're making names for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're all young, we're all new in the big leagues in a sense, and we're out here, have it with a great opportunity ahead of us. And something in spring training, we had a really great team meeting, just kind of saying, you know what, their expectations are one thing, but it's how we bounce, how we respond, and how we go about our business is another thing. So that's something I think everybody took into their hearts as a whole, and is using that as just a little bit of motivation to kind of just keep pushing and seeing what we can do and what kind of ways we can make.
Are you the type, so after the start in Anaheim, everybody said, boy, that was great from Spenser Watkins, right? That was everything you could ask for him against a tough lineup. Are you the type of person that can feel good about that, or are you the type of person that goes home and says, yeah, but I'm still pissed about what happened against Trout?
I could definitely, once I separate myself from the field, I'm able to assess my outings and really see all the positives that are there. There's frustration during, I'm a competitive guy, so there's frustrations during whether it's, a misexecuted pitch or a result or whatever that is. But once I step away from the diamond, I can assess my outing, and I can always pull away a lot of positives. That's been something I've been fortunate enough to be able to do is pull out those positives, even if it's a bad outing, and line some stuff up that we can work on in that week. But yeah, I've always been a guy that can kind of pull out the positives pretty easily.
Yeah, and by the way, that wasn't a bad outing, obviously.
No, of course.
Yeah,
that
was a good outing.
In the past, in the past, if I say I had a bad outing, I'm still able to step aside, say, hey, I did this really well, or things like that. So I've always been able to do that.
Probably a healthier way to approach being a.
Yeah, because there were definitely times when I didn't do that, and that doesn't fare very well. So you learn, as you go through your career, you learn how to be a pro. You learn how to go through that stuff.
Where did that come from? Did somebody teach you that, or is it just being in baseball for so long? Eventually, you had to be like. Did somebody get sick of you criticizing yourself constantly in certain circumstances?
I've been very fortunate in my career to have phenomenal coaches through the Tiger system as well as here, and then also an incredible group of veterans that was always in Toledo when I was there with the Tigers. We have guys like Edwin Jackson, Jared Saltalamacchia, big name guys who have done this for a while and done, had a lot of success. So Edwin Jackson was a guy that I kind of looked upon a lot. Just kind of, and it was really only a brief time that I was there with him, but I just, kind of just kept an eye on him and how he went about his business, and he was always focusing on positives, whether he gave up 9 in an inning or he went 9 innings with no runs. He was always looking at positive stuff, always talking about positive things. So, things like that, just seeing from the veterans as I've gone through my career and just pick things from their brain or things like that, and just try and emulate what they're trying to do, because they've done it for a while and they've been very successful.
Spenser, I don't know if you got to spend much time with them in spring training, and I don't want to take anything away from your current catchers, but obviously everyone's excited about Adley Rutschman, who's looking like he's going to be here pretty soon, as he's got the assignment in Aberdeen this week, and it's off to a good start. How excited are you, knowing just how talented that young man is? How excited are you for the opportunity to work with him here in the coming weeks?
Yeah, no, he's impressive. I mean, he's got that top prospect name for a reason. But a ton of excitement, absolutely. I mean, he's far advanced for his years in the game, and it's like I said before, it's just impressive to watch him go about his business. I've gotten to spend a decent amount of time with him, a little bit in AAA last year, and then spring training the last 2 years. And he's an absolute sponge. He soaks in every bit of info he can get from us, from other catchers, things like that. And he's got an immense feel for the game behind the plate. It's pretty incredible, and it's fun to watch.
It's cool. Obviously, everybody's very fired up about that. Right now, we're just fired up about the fact that you guys have been awfully competitive. Are you feeling a sense of, hey, maybe we're a little bit better than people realize we are? We feel not just the pitchers, but as on the whole, right? The bats have come alive a little bit. Like,
oh yeah.
Are you
absolutely?
You feeling
that? It's being able to sit in the dugout for 9 innings to watch these guys play is a pleasure. I mean, there's never been an inning where you feel like our guys aren't going to come out and put up, a crooked number real easily. So it's been a lot of fun to watch our boys do that, do what they do best, and just continue to compete. As well as the pitching staff putting up zeros, and as well as guys picking each other up. If the pitching staff may not have the best day, the hitters have been there to pick us up, or vice versa. We've been able to do the same. So it's been a really, really cool dynamic to just have kind of everybody knowing everybody's putting in 100% to the same direction.
Spenser, I'm going to let you go here in a second, as I know you're getting ready for a baseball game tonight. But two things quickly. One, what can you tell us about, as we talk about a team that's trying to perform beyond expectations? Your skipper, Brandon Hyde, what does he mean to your group of guys? And you've kind of got a bunch of guys that kind of come up with him as a manager, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hyder is an incredible leader, incredible, manager. He's instilled since the first day of spring. We're here to perform. We're not here to try and fulfill expectations, or a lot of people want us to underfill these expectations. He says that doesn't matter. That's different. We're here to perform. We're a big league ball club, and we'll conduct ourselves as so. And he does a great job of making sure everybody's where they need to be, making sure everybody's in the right mindset. It's just an all-around good leader.
That's awesome. And then tell me a little bit about you, Spenser. I tried to follow you on Twitter and Instagram, and I saw you were private, and so I get that, man. Not everybody wants all their business out there, but what do we need to know about you, dude? Like, what outside of baseball, what are you all about? What are you into? What is life like for Spenser Watkins?
Yeah, outside of baseball, I'm super easygoing. I think you could ask anybody in the clubhouse, outside of the clubhouse. I'm a very easygoing guy. I just love to kind of take the days as they come. But something I really enjoy doing is teaching the game.
Cool.
I've coached youth baseball for the past 4 years in the off seasons. I've had a same 11U team. There are now 15 now, or sorry, a 12U team that's now 16 that I've been coaching the past few years, and just a lot of connections with them, and then as well doing lessons and stuff like that, and just spreading the game throughout Arizona and stuff like that, as well as just spending quality time with my beautiful wife and my family, and we got 2 dogs at home. And
awesome.
Yeah, it's just I try and just take life as it comes and enjoy it.
Important question. What are the dogs? I asked this only because I recently learned that Grayson Rodriguez's dog is named Ace, and it's my favorite thing that I've ever heard in my life. What are your dogs' names?
We have 2 dogs. We have Leo, who's a German Shepherd Border Collie mix, and we have Luna, who's a Black Lab
Pit
Bull mix.
So you're not willing to go as far. You're not willing to go as far as Ace, but I get that.
No, not quite Ace. Yeah, not quite there yet. But yeah, Leo and Luna, that's our 2 babies.
Again, 1992 pricing throughout the entire homestand this weekend and next week for the Baltimore Orioles. Tickets start as low as $4 to get out and see the Birds starting this weekend against the Red Sox. Spenser Watkins, man, really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes for us. Look forward to seeing you this weekend, and look forward to continuing to see you and the entire team's success as the year goes on.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.